Hey, good morning. What's happening, YouTube? This is James from Essential Apparel, and today we're going to be talking about DTF printers once again. So this basically is going to be a follow-up kind of to the video that I already made, somewhat explaining what DTF is and how to basically get into it and kind of what it's going to cost you. So basically the materials involved. So today we're just going to follow up with a little bit more information as far as cost per print and whether you think it's worth it versus white toner. I'm going to try to make this video short and sweet and to the point. For those of you that are here for the first time, welcome, and we're going to get into it right after the intro. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is James once again, and today we're going to be talking about DTF. This is the latest phenomenon in regards to, being able to print to apparel, and you can get into it relatively cheap. It's morning time here, so I gotta have my coffee, okay? I suggest you get yours if it's morning time too. Now's the time to do it. But anyways, I love coffee, so I gotta have it. At least 2-3 cups. I don't know about you. How many cups do you drink in the morning? Post in the comments. So here's the thing. Cost per print. Let's just get right into it. Of course there's going to be factors. So the factors involved as far as your cost per print are always going to be, okay, how many sheets am I buying? Okay, am I buying 100? Am I buying 500? Or am I buying 100 sheets? Because those prices always go down or up depending on how many you buy, like the quantity and amounts you buy. Just like wholesale, when you buy more, you get a lower price. You bring your price point down. So let's just base it off 100 sheets. So if you took 100 sheets, 8 by 12, okay, let's just say that sheet cost you about 60 cents, okay? So once you print on that sheet, basically you're going to take the weight into consideration. So you might want to weigh your print, whether it's an 11 by 17 or it's an 8.5 by 11. But in this case, we're doing 8.5 by 11. You're going to weigh your sheet and see, okay, if your sheet weighs this much before you print on it, how much does it weigh after you print on it? And then take that weight, write it down. Now go put your powder adhesive on there. Now weigh it once again. So if you're noticing a difference of, let's say you started out at around, I don't know, let's just say 10 grams, okay, for your print, okay? 10 grams for your print, and then you went ahead and printed on it. Now it weighs about, let's just say, 12 grams, okay? It weighs 12 to 13 grams now after you printed on it, okay? So now you're going to know, okay, I went from 10 grams to 13 grams, so 3 grams is what I'm using ink-wise. So how many milliliters are in the ink set you bought? You would kind of separate that, and that's your cost per print for your ink. Then after you add your adhesive powder, how much does it weigh now? Adhesive you're buying by the pound or by the ounce. So in this regard, same thing. If you went from 13 to say 16 grams, weight, well, there's your thing now. So now you added about 3 more grams to your print. So now you take those 3 grams minus, say, 1 pound, and there's your cost per print for your powder. So that's how much powder you're using for that size print that you're printing. We'll just say maybe it's just under, maybe it's an 8 by 5 or something like that, or a 6 by 8, something, or maybe it's like a 5 by 10. So those are the factors involved. What size print are you doing? What's the image size that you're using? So really where you're going to make money in DTF printing, in my opinion, is if you're doing smaller logos, okay? Maybe a 2 by 5, a 1 by 5, a 1 by 4, you get the point. when you can gang up, say, 30, 40, 50 logos on one sheet of paper, and you're charging, say, $3 to $4, maybe $5 per logo for a company, that's where you're truly making money off of DTF printing, okay? What's your demographic? Are you going after businesses, or are you just going after everyday walk-ins? You know, that's great too, because, you know, you kind of open up the door for anyone who comes to your shop, says, hey, can you do this print right here, this image? As long as it's not infringing on copyright, absolutely, we can do it. Full color, no problem. So it's great for fast one-off shirts where people come through the door, maybe they need one, maybe they need 5 or 10. You can get those done within a day. So the machine can make you money in that regard, okay? So you figure if you add all that up, you know, each print is probably going to cost you about anywhere from 75 cents a print as high as $3 a print, depending on your print size, your paper size, and the amount of ink you're using for that factor. So that's quite honestly not too bad when you think about, you know, the fact that you're doing full color and you're giving that to your clients. Okay, so let's just call it an average of $1 a print. Okay, now keep in mind when you do buy your ink kits, your CMYK plus, you know, white, factor in that your ink waste is going to be anywhere from 25% to 30% ink waste. That's the ink that's going to be used just to try to clean the printer heads and the printer itself. It's maintenance. You know, and now that I'm talking about maintenance, this is the thing that really has deterred me so far from purchasing a DTF printer. The price factor isn't bad. I mean, I actually like the price of the printers. I mean, compared to white toner printing, I think that white toner laser is more expensive. It's almost double the price versus this setup. You know, you're talking per print over there is about $4 per print. So there you'd really have to get skillful and tactful again with how you're ganging up your sheets. You know, if I'm using a full sheet, I want to try to get as many logos and use up as much real estate on that sheet. I mean, even if it's going to be a logo that, you know, maybe I've got a shirt logo, a chest logo, a sleeve, a tag, maybe something for a hat. You got to think about stuff like that. What can I do, or what can I create to use up all this real estate so I have these, you know, designs set aside for a later project that I sell. But per print cost is also going to help you see how much money you're making based on what you're being able to put on, you know, a gang sheet or a piece of film. So there kind of breaks down the cost per print aspect of it. Now, like I said, there's a video that came out from Brother Ernest. You know, he got into the DTF, you know, game. And Ernest, if you're watching this video or you see this video, give a shout out, brother. Subscribe. Just kidding, man. But hey, all respect to this dude, because he got into the DTF game. He was telling everybody how great it was. And then all of a sudden, 6 months later, he could have kept going with the, you know, fact that, oh, DTF's still great. But no, he decided to make a video to tell the truth about the maintenance aspect of DTF. Okay, he was saying it's absolutely a nightmare at some point, because he was finding that, you know, the print heads were getting really dirty, really cakey, hard to clean. And if you don't have any type of technical experience in cleaning, disassembling printers, especially trying to get to that print head, knowing how to clean them, you might be running into some issues when it comes to owning a DTF printer. Because he said after you printed so much on a DTF printer, that's bound to occur. That type of cleaning that has to happen. Now, I don't know if in his case it's because he was doing a lot of modification printers and then selling them, like these L1800s, I believe they are, that just came out. They were basically modified printers. And this is keeping in the fact that he was also using the ink stirrers and everything for the white. Time out. All right, game on. You know, he was doing that. So keep that in mind. If you don't at least have some technical, experience with being able to work on printers, know what you're buying before you buy it. Make sure that the printer you're buying, isn't going to give you a problem down the line. Like, look into the maintenance of that printer to see if it's going to work out for you. Ooh, the screen is bright. So, that's just my advice. Make sure you're buying something that's a little bit more on the level of commercial printing. That way your maintenance hopefully is a little bit less than these home-based printers. I want to know that if I start using this printer, and this is what inkjet is notorious for, is clogging, especially if you're not using them on a daily basis. This is where white toner printing has its advantage over inkjet, and the reason why I kind of went with a white toner versus an inkjet, DTF system, because I can walk away from a laser printer for months, come back, and that printer will print the same, and not have any issues. Inkjet, forget it. It's going to be dried up. Your nozzles are going to be clogged. You're going to have a lot of problems trying to print correctly, and a lot of issues. If anybody here has ever owned an inkjet, you probably know what I'm talking about. Okay, I've literally had to take printers back because I just couldn't get them to work. I mean, I always bought my printers from Costco, just in case something like that happened. But you can't just walk away from an inkjet printer. You've got to constantly be printing with that thing so that it doesn't have an issue, or at least every other day print something. So hopefully your DTF machine is going to be putting in work, or you're going to be at least doing something with it. So make that a factor, do that research. That way you know what's going on there. So for those that had watched my previous video, that basically introduced you to what you're going to need to buy and invest in just to get into DTF. I don't personally own one. I don't plan on owning one yet, but I might eventually. But it's got to be a more quality printer that's really designed to make me money, not make me lose time. Basically, time is going to be the main factor here in regards to what you're doing with DTF. What is your time worth, okay? If you've got to spend every other day cleaning your machine, that's robbing you of time, and it's robbing you of money, okay? You shouldn't be spending $3,000 on a printer only to have to clean it every day or every other day, even at least 2 times a week. You in no way, shape, or form should have to take apart a printer in order to clean it, okay? They should be creating a way that the printer cleans itself and handles its business in regards to, its functionality. So until I start seeing stuff like that come out, then I'll jump into the game. But hey, we're going to try to bring this to a conclusion. So for those of you that might have white toner printers, please, please, please post in the comments. I want to hear what your experience has been with the printer, but I also at the same time want to know what printer you're using. I would think that if you're trying to get into this game, jumping more into the industrial size printers are probably going to be where it's at. But then again, you're getting into the $10,000 to $18,000 range. Is that going to work for you? There are other solutions like, the Epson DTF printers that are, I don't know, about 4 foot, 5 foot wide, whatever. Those could be a possible solution. Much better quality parts. So, there it is right there in a nutshell. So those of you, again, that have those type of printers, please post in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. I'd love to engage with you and kind of find out what's what in the world of DTF. This is going to help inform me. It's going to help inform the people that are watching this video and kind of give us a perspective that quite honestly just isn't out there yet. There's only been a handful of people that have really, been doing something with it and kind of posting their results, but there's just not enough information yet out there to determine, is this going to make sense for me to spend this much money? Because if you're also doing transfers, which I have videos here on how to do transfers, plastisol transfers and full color transfers and whatnot, that might make more sense for you. So if you got any type of information from this video, do me a favor, man. Just hit that like button. That's all we need, man. Hit that like button, and again, post in the comments, give us some feedback. Until then, My name is James. This is Essential Apparel, and I'm out. Cup number 3. Time to go to work.